Okay, we talked about full-fledged startup, then the background support to startup, and then we talked about part-time or the short-term support to a startup as a third. Fourth, we talked about is the seniors and startups. Who do we call as seniors in tech? Anybody above 10 years, and obviously anybody above 20 years. So that means many of the people who started in maybe late 90s or early 2000s or even 2010. So until then, whoever had been in the industry are now called seniors. It's a very well known fact that seniors don't have much options now. They don't get much calls even if they apply, and even if they are qualified, they may not get it. So, what are all the options? How should seniors do it? Because many are still struggling, they don't know. When it comes to own business, what seniors need to do? First and foremost, check their own profile. What kind of people are they? So most likely that they had been into R&D, and also they might understand consulting business to some extent. Possibly they understand some things about the domains they had been in and then the domain business. For example, if somebody had been into networking and routers, they understand the IT infrastructure and routers to some extent. But that may not be enough when it comes to starting on your own, because you are not likely to create another router today and then scale a business using that. Let us look at the very high level categories of what is possible. Starting on your own, right? That means you are a startup founder. So there are two sides to any startup. It is either creating or delivering the product or the service. Another side is sales and distribution of product or service. Two sides, either build it or sell it. Unless you get that clarity on where you fit, don't start. And it is a very important question to do it. So in the name of strategy and marketing, sometimes you may think that you are on all sides. Fine. But still, you try to understand your core strength and try to align to building the product or service or to sell it. And if you don't have a partner who can sell it, then until you find, don't start. And if you cannot find it all, then you try to learn it. Sales are not very hard, but there is a huge mental block in everyone about sales. Get rid of that, then you may have chance there. Let's say you have a job and you don't have courage to jump like that. In the startup itself, you can be the invisible partner. So you probably are putting either money, or you are supporting with expertise, or supporting with the connections, that is the sales. But you are not coming to the front. You have other partners there, but then you already have discussed about what you want, and then the share and stake and what is expected from each person and things like that. If you can work it out, then it's fantastic. You don't have to leave the job. It's very risky. Still, you can pull it off. So this is slightly less commitment compared to full-fledged startup founder by leaving the job. Then there is a third level, which is even lesser commitment. So you can offer to support some startups on temporary basis. You don't expect too much of share and things like that, but then you may be able to do some transactional stuff. For example, you can support through reviews, or you can even say that, okay, this quarter I am free, so I can test your product and I can also support in pitching to some customers because I know this domain. Suppose you are in healthcare domain, you already know some people who are into piloting in certain hospitals. then you probably can support some healthcare startups, isn't it? So, likewise, in every domain, you may have some connection through which you will be able to push to the market, or you will be able to spend your own time in improving the product quality or reviews and things like that. You are committing, but only for short term. So you cannot expect very high equity or anything like that. But then with this exposure, you may get new avenues. The relation may work out. So then you may be able to see this as one option for future. And also, with your support, if you are able to sell it, you can have some revenue share. Suppose it is not a new product, you can do trading, the standard trading. That means it's a well known, well established product, nothing unique about it. It's a well established product class. Everybody needs it. For example, some kind of appliance. So any normal low tech stuff which you can think of, or high tech product also, doesn't matter. But something established, you know that everybody needs it. You can simply do a trading. That means you could invest and you can put somebody, you can employ somebody, and it will run as a normal business. So if it succeeds, that can be a very good second source of income for you. Here there is some risk when it comes to time and energy, but it is a known established business model. If you put effort, it may work out. Okay, we talked about full-fledged startup, then the background support to startup, and then we talked about part-time or the short-term support to a startup as a third. Fourth we talked about is the trading. Then the fifth one, so it could be freelancing. You are not into any startup or anything, but then you have certain skills. You are supporting as a consultant. It can be through freelancer sites online or through offline consulting through direct connections. So here you can charge good money. The legality of this, it's something for you to decide. If you are full-time employed with certain clauses, you may not be able to do that openly. So we talked about startups, full-fledged startup. Secondly, the background player in the startup. Third is the short-term support to startups. Then the fourth we talked about is the trade of anything. Then the fifth we will talk about, that is the freelancing or the consulting. So you have certain skills and you can charge good money for it because you are already in that domain, you already know quite a bit. Now the legality of it is up to you to decide. Since you are full-time employed, you may not be able to do it openly, but then if you are seeing any job threat, because if company is not guaranteeing that next 1 year you will be employed, you also know that you are not guaranteed to get another job if they fire you. So it is up to you to take that risk of doing freelancing. So there are online options and also offline. If you are experienced, probably offline is better, because with online sites like freelancer.in, freelancer.com or few other sites, there are risks of they banning, they deactivating you for whatever reasons. So if you already are experienced, probably you can start an offline business in consulting. So this is somewhat easier. You can start and stop when you need. Probably you are not setting a legal entity for it. Apart from all of these things, if you don't have so much of courage to do all of these things, and also you don't have so much of skills, you may be able to do little lower end things such as the training. You can be a training faculty in local training centers. You may not get too much money, but then you will be able to teach some simple stuff to normal candidates. So this may be an easy risk free money. It may be a risk free money, but less money. But having an option may help you. Depending upon your emergency, you can pick any of these. Suppose you don't have any crisis, you are happy, you are getting enough money, what should you do? I would say that you still try to build some network outside. For example, you can do some kind of a community service. The community can be a professional network community like EEE or PMI and things like that, or your domain specific association, or even the actual community service of things like lake cleaning and things like that. Many corporate leaders also come into these, and you may have very good networking opportunity. This also helps you to build your brand. So when the time comes, you may have network that may help you. I think some of these options are good enough. So next you take some step, take some action. Now you tell me in comment section, what do you think of these things? Will they help? Even if you don't succeed, if you try, you think it will help? And also, if you have any examples, if you know any stories of people who have done it and then succeeded and reduced their uncertainty and tensions, then it will be worth reading. Then it will be worth knowing for others. Let me know.